In running, after some good days, long days, hard days, there's always an opportunity to de-stress, deload a little bit, and to open up my mind to what happened in that day. And it can be a very, very relaxing process to enjoy a nice easy run, or to just go hammer a workout one day and let the day be, and to have that time to better myself. My name is Chris Licata. I'm a runner, and I grew up in Harriman, New York, which is in Orange County. It's right by the Hudson River, just west of it. And my life in Harriman was pretty simple. I grew up with my mom, my dad, and my sister. I lived there my entire life, and before I came to college. Harriman is a pretty small town with one big street, which is where I live on. There's a shop up in this little plaza. If we turn left at this light here, called Little Italy, you can get the best cold cuts on the planet. The people that inspire me are definitely my friends and family, who I see day to day, living life and moving forwards, taking one step further every day. Seeing their example and how they move forward is amazing.
You know, he was always somebody that was interested in making people happy. Like, I don't want to say he was a people pleaser, but he was always concerned about how somebody felt and what it's impressive.
One story that sticks out is when he had I don't know if it was cross country or track meet in high school, and one of his teammates got injured, and instead of finishing the race, Christopher stayed with him and didn't want to leave him.
No, you're doing it backwards.
No.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Discard a card. Oh, that's right. You could take 2 times the amount of coins.
I used to like when you were 4, and I used to be able to beat you.
That's true.
I think it was about 5 or 6 you started to win. My son's good. He's a good man. He believes in people's goodness. He believes in his faith and his faith in God that good things are going to happen, and he manifests that. You really beat me so badly on this video. I'm going to disown you.
I have to play again.
I'm going to disown you.
Get disowned. Yeah.
You're going to get disowned.
I feel like freshman year of college, I came in with a little bit of like fear, and almost as if I had to have a chip on my shoulder, something that I had to improve on and show who I was, and it's something that even to this day, when I still haven't hit the marks that I would have wanted to achieve, still is present within me. Breaking 2 is the biggest goal in fitness that I've had for almost all of my collegiate career, and is something that I strive for every day.
I fell asleep a little too much on the 37.
I'm not 100% accurate on this because I was getting excited.
Yeah.
But
That's how it should be.
So I always do the first. I think to speak to the achievement of being able to break 2 minutes in the 800 is really how you break down the race, right? If you look at it, you have to run to have 2 flat. You have to run 30 seconds per 200 meters, right? That's quick. And so to be able to think like, okay, I have to run under 30 seconds a lap is sometimes a bit of a stretch. Some people think, okay, I can do that for the first one. Okay, maybe the second and third lap is really tough, but all right, I'm able to kick it in. I think being able to put together in an indoor track 4 laps that are sub 30 is an incredible challenge. I think when you're looking at it from an outdoor track, you gotta get under a minute for 400 meters on a track, and that's a tough challenge to do.
Throughout my entire running career, I have put hours and hours and hours and weeks and months and years of time into bettering myself in the sport that I love.
That 2-minute barrier is the elusive, like, this big wall that I gotta climb and get over.
I would give anything to break 2. As I was brought to my room in the ER, the doctor immediately took vitals, some blood pressure, heart rate, took some blood, and then took an x-ray. I sat at the edge of my bed, clenching my hands, bouncing my leg, hunched over, struggling to get a full breath in, waiting to see what that result would be. When the doctor came back into the room, the first words I heard were, "You have a collapsed lung." Immediately, my heart sunk. I was defeated at that point. I put my head down and didn't know what to do. Everything that I loved was stripped away from me, and I had to begin to think what was actually going to happen. I was 20 years old. I had so much more life to live. On the low end, 60 years. On the optimistic side, hopefully 80. But to have such a large issue with a major organ in my body was hard to hear with everything that I dreamt of in life. I'm a physical therapy student. I'm a runner. If I wasn't able to be physically active in my job, in my life, was I going to be disabled? Could I have carried on towards the dreams which I had? Or was my life going to change forever? Before I could even process my diagnosis, my doctor told me I got to go to an operating room. They wheeled me down right away, and I met my surgeon. The surgeon was there and explained that I needed to get a chest tube placed in my chest to help clear the obstruction and to help me breathe in my lung. With that, he explained that there was many inherent risks, potential mortality, and things might not turn out well. And that weight hit me pretty quickly at that point. He went off to get his final preparations. His nurses came in on either side. The nurse to her left mentioned, "You could squeeze my hand if you need during the surgery." I said yes. The doctor and the surgeon came back in. He applied a local anesthetic, made his first incision. I grabbed the nurse's hand, squeezed like hell. He made a second incision, going deeper, and I started coughing immediately. I didn't know when it was going to end. All I knew was that I was in pain. Finally, the doctor stepped away, and exasperated, I said, "Are we done?" And he said, "Yes." Still squeezing the nurse's hand, I looked over, she smiled, and I began to slowly let go. But I was spent at that point. I was exhausted, tired, worn, and didn't know what was next after that. For 18 years of my life, I really never stepped foot in a church. I was there maybe two, 3 times that I can really ever remember. My parents were never really truly religious. I met one of my friends, Seth, who I'm still very good friends with now. I was like, "Oh, you have a cross. What does that mean to you?"
We had texted and wanted to grab lunch at the dining hall together, and saw that I was wearing a cross necklace and asked me like, "Hey, like, are you a Christian?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," like. But I suggested that we do a Bible study, and so after our meal, we went back to our dorm and started to read the Bible. And Chris was probably the most open-minded person to faith that I've ever really talked to. I think the moment where it started to shift for Chris was when he started to text me about when we should meet next, instead of it being the other way around. He wanted to meet at such and such a time or such and such a place, and wanted to read certain passages, and that was certainly the first clicking point, I think, where he started to actually make this decision to follow God, his own, and not just something that he heard from some guy. The word catalyst would be a great example of what this injury was for him in regards to his faith. We have this experience, and all of a sudden we're not Superman, and strips you of what you thought you were, and you start to kind of second guess the body that you were given and all that you do.
The biggest thing that I try and do is I try and wake up and choose God daily. It is always a struggle. It gets so busy. There's things that you can justify as saying, oh, today I gotta get this done, and then maybe it's 9 p.m. and I haven't read the Bible that day. At that point, when that comes on my heart, I know that is the exact moment I need to read the Bible. That is the time to choose godliness at that point. And it's not going to be perfect.
When you don't put your faith in God, and you put your faith in your career as an athlete or your grades, those ultimately fail at some point. Chris very easily could have taken the route of, woe is me, why this route, why can't I do the things that I love? But he decided to take the positive route, that he still has air in his collapsed lungs, and he still has people to support him and a purpose.
Romans 5:3-5 is my favorite Bible verse that I've read. It reads, and not only that, but we share in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us because God's love has been given to us. There's going to be something hard that you're going to have to endure and fight through. But as you fight through that, you're going to learn a bunch of new things about yourself, you're going to push yourself to new boundaries, and it's going to become a part of your character as you learn and you build yourself up from it. The book isn't closed when I'm not a runner anymore, so I do running, I do run all the time, and I compete with track and field, but I know that after I can't run anymore, I'm still Chris Licata, and there's a lot more that kind of comes to value through that.
Yeah, we got small town magic, like red dirt flying behind those tires of that old two-tone truck, handed down, wheels in the world go round and round. The streets might settle, but baby, you and me won't. No, we won't. We'll be blue jean, dirty boots, kicking it up all the way down the road, till the wheels turn to rust and the lights don't buzz. Yeah, we'll still be us till ashes turn to ashes and dust turns to dust. We'll be us.